everybody. Happy Merry Monday. I hope you guys are having a happy Merry Monday all over the world and all around the globe. This is Mary Jae on today, and we're going in a little deeper. I hope you were listening and tuned into the conversations that we have shared thus far every Monday. You guys can meet us right here at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, right here at Real Talk with Mary Jae on all of your social media networks. Listen, I am elated to have Sharon with me that is back in the studio with me once again. He is a doctor, a counselor, a family and marriage and family therapist, a preacher, a pastor, an entrepreneur, an author. Guys, it goes on, and he and his beautiful wife are a power team. But I have Sharon with me on today, and I am so glad that he was able to take time out of his busy schedule to join me on today. Welcome back to the show, everybody, once again, Dr. Danna Andrus. Thank you, Dr. Danna. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth is in the building.
Thank you so much for having me back. That's by popular demand, but we always have a word or something positive to say, especially this thing about relationships. And let me tell you, this book that you wrote, oh my God. And think about it, I hadn't even read most of it till I said, Lord, let me sit down and get this chapter together. And I said, Mary, I said, I like this. This is good, you know? And what's wonderful about it is that because when you write a book, you're leaving a legacy.
Yeah.
Good, because years from now, somebody will pick that book up and then they'll get to know you based on that book. But thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Dr. Danna. Dr. Truth, listen, guys, you all have already seen the show before when Dr. Danna come on my show all the time. He has a wealth of information to share. I learned the Eat Right for Your Blood Type from Dr. Danna and the O positive blood type in its nature. That has been so helpful, Dr. Danna. I want you to tell the people briefly who you are and all of what you do.
Well, first of all, let me apologize that Dr. Kendra couldn't make it today. Like I said, business calls on the other end. When the staff don't show up, that means she has to be there. But she sends her love, and her spiritual presence is always here.
Always.
And you mentioned the blood types, and I really wish you could be here today, and you could see how me as an O blood type, because Mary and I share the same blood type, so you will see some similarities. Or if you know us, you already see some similarities in our behavior, in the way we project ourselves, in our total demeanor. Our personality goes like this: ready, fire, aim. That's how we do it. You know, in other words, let's get it going, and then we'll figure out how it fit. But now my wife, Dr. Kendra, she's an A blood type, and me knowing that, and she understanding me as an O blood type, that was the salvation of our marriage right there. In other words, she's trying to figure out why you can't slow down. I'm asking her, but why can't you speed up? She asking me, why can't you? She say, stop telling everything. Stop being so transparent. I said, well, why you got to be concealed and hidden on everything? In other words, whatever I am, she's almost the opposite. And what's interesting about it is that not only does opposite attract, but we found out that that's how we create balance.
Wow.
She always has to remind Dana, okay, I know you're going on that show, but listen now, don't get too transparent. And I have to remember that, because with me, I have, I'm an open book. But with your partner, you have to respect the wishes and desires of your partner. Because see, you already know you. That's half the battle. But knowing your partner, that's the other half. You're talking a win-win situation. But master's, doctorate degree, 16 years in the military, serving the country, come back and a licensed therapist, have a private practice, a ministry that we have every Sunday morning at 10:30 at WYOD, that's Centering Truth Ministries. And by the way, this Saturday, is that okay?
Yes. And I was going to ask you to share it again at the end. Go ahead on.
Yeah, this Saturday, Dr. Kendra Andrus is putting on what we call a health and wellness party.
Yes.
It's a ball. We're going to be doing hopscotch, jumping rope, double dutch. We got a 24-foot wall that we have, but you could climb, but you also have the harnesses to go with it. So, we practice safety. We got a water slide, a bounce house and all that for the children. We'll have vendors and everything there with food, Kendra going to have her red fish out there and stuff like that, and all our different vendors that's going to be there. Sonia B. Fit is going to be there doing her thing. Matter of fact, this is going to be at 1600 Westwood Drive. 1600 Westwood Drive. Somebody saying, no, I know that place. That's right. That's Mount Calvary. Mount Calvary Family Church with Pastor Terry Gullidge and his beautiful.
That's the beautiful Gullidge.
And Lady-elect Sister Gullidge. I mean, now that's a couple. I mean, two totally different personalities, but guess what? It works. So we appreciate them for opening their doors and allowing us to allowing us to do our thing within the church around.
But talk about the product that Kendra is going to have there as well.
Kendra's going to have a whole table full of stuff, but 3 specific products that are her best sellers. Burn, baby, burn.
Burn, baby, burn.
I'm talking about, you talk about a tasty juice concoction, depending on how you want it. One is pineapple, one is pineapple, one is
strawberry and watermelon.
There you go, you got it. And what is
yes,
all of these are ingredients along with other herbs that she put together. And I mean, it's tasty. She sells it in a gallon size. And what's good about it, it does 3 things. It gives you sustained energy for the day. Not the 5-hour energy that's filled with preservatives and filled with additives. We're talking natural. Secondly, it helps you lose the weight that you don't want.
Right.
See, that's one thing that allow a lot of our relationships to fall apart. Over the years, we forget that with the person that we met, got to try to stay close to the person that we are. Now, I had a whole head of hair one time, but I make sure I have some good looking shoulders and stuff. So, I'm trying to keep my woman interested in me. So we shed off those pounds, and the Burn Baby Burn can do that. And the third thing it does, it helps us to release all the toxin, all the bacteria. Trust me, stay near a bathroom and a toilet because you have to learn how to release. But think about it. When we deal with
I use the Burn Baby Burn, and I love it. It gives me lots and lots of energy. Yes. I love it. It helps with mental clarity. It keeps you alert, and energized, as well as release all the toxins, and you lose the waist. Losing inches and inches around the waistline is a plus. All right, it really is. So I enjoy it, and it's very good. Yeah, very delicious.
That's very important. Most people say, "Well, I want to lose the weight." Start off with losing the inches. Once you start seeing the inches disappear, the weight is going to go, but the inches have to go first.
I love losing the inches because we want to lose. Because some of us may not really want to lose a lot of weight, like myself. But I want to lose like belly fat, the inches in the waistline, especially with ladies. We're more concerned about our waistline a lot, and Burn Baby Burn works. And I tell you, and I know it's going to be an exciting time this weekend, Saturday. Saturday, what time is it beginning?
12 noon to 5 p.m.
And 12 noon to 5 p.m.
Look, we're challenging our pastors to come and climb that wall. Now, everybody.
The rock climbing wall. Absolutely.
I already said Antoine Barrier is going to win. But I give him a run for his money.
He probably will. But listen, Dana, I am so glad to have you sharing with us on today. Because when I thought about the chapters of my book, I had the opportunity to be on WBOK just this past Friday with Sally Ann Roberts, and she broke those chapters down, and I was just so elated that she took the opportunity to share with me, she and the professor. And we had some interesting callers on the show, by the way, that kind of chimed in on the discussion. But Sally had us, we walked through those chapters, and I was able to explain: market your product, make the investment, manage your time. All of those are chapters within the book Intrigue. And then it goes from the business side of you to the personal side of you to the intimate side of you. And it gets deeper because we're mind, body, and spirit. Exactly. So I am just so blessed of God that he has given me a book that is so creative, that have all the little metaphors throughout that we can do and ignite the total man. So when we got down from chapter to chapter, and I have others that are coming on, I had Cassandra Smith, therapist Cassandra Smith, that came on that broke down the chapter from her review of how much do you tolerate. How much do you tolerate is a chapter within the book, my new book, Intrigue. And then I had Mr. Leon Walker. He's a 32-year decorated naval veteran, author, powerful platform he has. And he shared from the subject, the chase. I have another power couple that will be coming on next week that will talk about the chapter Pillow Talk, right? And then I have this beautiful young lady that will be sharing with us, Amy Bolden. She will be talking about market your product. So the couple that will be coming on next week is the Mr. Glenn and his lovely wife. Her name is Tanya Coleman. So we're excited about it. But when I came to the Know Your Size chapter, who can I call for this that will break this chapter down, that will get the wealth of information from it that will be impactful and that can empower others? And I thought of the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. Dr. Danna Andrus and your beautiful wife, Dr. K. So here we are now. Intrigue is getting ready to be released on July 23rd, which is my birthday this Friday, and I'm excited about it. Yes, thank you. Yes. Can't wait to share with everybody all of the chapters throughout the book. There's also a chapter called Sex Toys in the book. And yes, and what do you celebrate? Yes. And so, but we're going to talk about the review on today. Know Your Size, Dr. Danna.
Well,
in reading it, give me your take from it. Okay. What is it?
First of all, the first part about the looking for a suit that fits, I thought I love that metaphor. I love the way you did that because, you know, I have this one suit that I have that I wear, and the thing about it, it's tailored. But when I first saw it, you know, when after the lady took my measurements and stuff like that, she said, we probably have a suit almost ready for you. And she pointed to it. I said, now that looks just like me. She said, no, it can be you, but it's got to be tailored to fit you.
Yes.
No, she said, put it on. And I put it on and I saw that the chest was too big. The pants was too big and the waistline and whatever. Then I thought about that, going back to your book. See, a lot of times we put something on and we think that it fits.
Mm-hmm.
But two things you got to understand. Number one, other people are watching you. So what you think is fitting may be revealing to somebody else.
Exactly.
See, and just because you think that it's the right thing for you, I don't think you're going to be in isolation. So since you're going to be around others, the first thing you have to ask yourself is, how well would this look in the public's eye? Because the public is the one that determines where you go and how far you go. And let me tell you something, you never get a chance to make a second first appearance.
That's right.
So if you have it fitting right and looking good, appropriate for your size, that's another thing. Everybody's not the same size. And you mentioned that so well in your book, which means that a lot of our size has to do with our genetics, which means that we didn't ask for that. But because we have it, it's our job to enhance it the best way we can to maximize who we are. Now, in your relationship, you have to understand that fine man that you just saw, or fellas, that fine woman that you just saw, oh, that looks good. But for that individual to be fitted for you, it's going to take some time. It's going to take some stitches. You may have to put some cutting to it. You may have to put some darning to it. You may have to take away, but at the end, when people have been together for a long period of time, you say, boy, you two look almost like brother and sister. You know why? Because now you become a perfect fit. The Bible said we must through much tribulation into the kingdom of God. I told a group the other night, I said, you know, my wife represents my kingdom of God. But I went through a whole lot of tribulation and fitting and cutting and tearing down and building up in order to be fitted the best that I needed to be for this kingdom that I have with me. And now, Chucks, and like David said, I'll dwell in that house forever and ever and ever.
And happy are those that dwell together
That's right.
on one accord. Yes.
So that piece right there on the fitting of the suit, I mean, I thought that was excellent because I've seen people write on that, but not the way you did, because you made it so clear that even a person with say mediocre to low level understanding, they could actually pull exactly what it is or glean from it what it is that you're trying to say. So I thank you for that part.
Thank you, Dr. Dana.
Your second part, the triangle theory of love.
Yes.
Has to be a balance, people. And Mary, you wrote that so well in your book, especially when you highlighted one particular angle. It's three angles together. If you notice, the most stable position is a triangle. Remember,
Right.
when you first we first learned to ride a bike, it was a tricycle. You had a big wheel and two small wheels.
Mm-hmm.
And you stayed on that. That was your balance, riding. Then eventually you got to the next bike. It had two big wheels, but it still had two training wheels on the end. So that represented your balance. Then what happened was that over a period of time, you were able to remove the training wheels. And so now you're saying, look at me, I'm riding this two-wheel bike, but actually it's three wheels because your balance represents the wheel in the middle of the two wheels. And therefore that represents your balance in life as you put it in your book. So, I mean, you wrote it out so well. Three arms. The first one is passion. People, you have to have passion in your relationship. In other words, I got to look at my wife and say, what makes me want to yearn to go to that? And that one only. But now, all the women that I'm around on a daily basis, just based on what I do, why is it that I stay so connected to this one that I see all the time? Now, this is interesting because the root word of passion is pass, which means that this too shall pass. But here's the key, because relationships are circular, stay with it. Don't go nowhere because it's going to come back around again.
Yes.
But what holds the together when it comes back around? The second arm that you meant, which is intimacy. People, you have to talk to one another in a relationship. And thank you for that word, Mary. Don't talk about her. Don't talk over her. Don't talk under her. Don't talk around her, but talk to her.
Yeah.
Because the only person that's going to get me where I need to be is my beloved, and that's Kendra. So we have to talk. And the hardest thing for us to do, but that's going to be the most effective thing, is to speak honestly to each other.
Right.
She'll say, Dana, your emotional level, you got to calm it down. I know you're O blood type, but you got to calm it down. You don't have to scream at me. So she's correct. So what I do is find another venue by which to scream like that. That's why I'm a speaker and a preacher and stuff like that, because I can release it that way. I'll tell her in intimacy, come on, Kendra, I know, you had a hard day and stuff like that, but look, and you got it, but look, don't forget about me, me, because I need the passion. And I have no problem saying I need passion.
Right.
But what happens is, and you mentioned in your book too, Mary, something that's interesting, that over a period of time, we allow our relationships, our marriages to wane. They become insignificant.
Yes.
We take one another for granted. We just assume certain things. But once you get to the point in a relationship that you feel you got it, that's when you begin to lose it. Let me say that one again.
Come on, say that
Once
two
you,
times.
once you feel you got it and you don't have nothing else to do, nothing else, look, this is my woman, and I know she ain't going anywhere, you just began to lose her. Because what you're saying is that I don't have to work anymore. But a relationship is a work in progress, and people, you have to continue. Like every time I see Kendra, I look at her like it's the first time I saw her. When I talk to her, I look at her like, I talk to her like this is the first conversation I had with her, which means that it's incumbent upon both parties to keep the relationship alive. And the way you do it is not through the passion, but it's through the communication. And how did you say that word intimacy in your book again?
Into me, see.
Into me, see.
What do you see into me?
What do you see? So if I'm into her and she's into me, then nothing else can get in because we're so into one another. And, people say, Dana, listen, you always talking about her like she all that. Well, first of all, I resent that because she is all that.
That's right.
And don't get mad because I talk about her, that's my wife. Now, what you will want to do is bless this relationship, so the blessings that you send into us will automatic. Oh, I wish I let me stop. That those same
Come on, preacher. Stop it.
come back to you. I mean, don't hate, because God,
Celebrate. Don't hate.
God
Celebrate.
He the one that introduced relationships, because
Yes.
relationships are the first thing that moves us to the first institution, which is family. But you got to have a relationship. And
Yeah.
then the third thing you talked about, wait, let me make sure I got it right. The third thing that you talked about was the fact that in relationships, it's got to be a give and take. Now, I don't know why we haven't figured that one out.
Yeah.
What, as an old blood type like you are, we both know that if we're not careful, we could overwhelm or steal a show. But that's just our part. If Kendra was here today, she would be standing there and she'll be sitting there just as cute as she can be. Everybody say, that's his little trophy bride. No, that's not my trophy bride. That's my balance. That's my covering.
Beautiful. Beautiful
And yet,
powerhouse.
power.
Brains and beauty.
And the thing about it is that her quiet spirit is the thing that keeps the relationship alive. Now, you may not see her, but she's the strength that holds the relationship up. Because she's not one that looks to be seen. She prefer to be in the shadows.
Right.
Being there, but she's holding me up and stuff like that. Which means that now that she's become Dr. Kendra, health nut, what she's doing and whatever, now it's time for me to disappear under the bottom and hold her up. And so I think that, your book, the way it's written in its simplistic form, like I said, you don't have to have a PhD to read it, but I actually have an open mind. You ready for that last part on your chapter?
Go for it. Go ahead.
You one mentioned the penis and the vagina. And I need to say something about that.
Yes.
It's fortunate that how we were introduced to our body parts as a culture has really messed us up, because got to remember, when Adam and Eve were in the garden, they didn't know they were naked.
Right.
It wasn't until that situation happened, then all of a sudden they looked upon one another, they looked upon each other differently. Mm-hmm. You have to have, and just like you said, intimacy. Well, intercourse is the same thing. That's
right.
I didn't say you enter into a subject. You're entering into a course, which means that course, you're going to be in there a while. Right. You're going to make some A's, you're going to make some B's, you're going to make some C's, you might even make an F. But guess what? You got to stay in that course till you do what? Pass it. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what the beauty of intercourse has to do with. And now, does size matter? I tell you what, the most unattractive female, if she knows how to communicate, then guess what? She's going to be the greatest thing in bed. The most unattractive male, if he knows how to communicate and know how to stimulate in the vertical here, once they get to the horizontal, everything will be so relaxed. What needs to come up will rise. What needs to open up will spread out. And before you know it, just like that fitted suit, you got a perfect fit.
A perfect fit. That's it. That's it. You broke the chapter down piece by piece, and if you notice, Dr. Danna, throughout the book, particularly know your size, and we're dealing with the total person, the size of every part of them, how well they look, how well they're dressed, their posture, how well in tailor fit something looks good on you. And we're caught up into the exterior, but we're not working on the exterior, I should say, but not working on the interior, Right. So that's why I break the book down from market your product, because market your product deals with all of that. And it's step by step by step. Each chapter links to the next, till we get to know your size. So I am so happy how you just illustrated and just broke that down piece by piece to understand that there's balance. Know your size. Do you really know your size? What fits right? What feels right? What works right and best for you? Now, you notice I talk about intimacy. Into me, see. What do you see into me? That's what you should be asking your partner. What is it that you see into me? And intimacy does not only means sexual intercourse, Intimacy means waking up early in the morning just to say good morning, my love. Just spending that time together. Intimacy is sitting at the kitchen table, having a cup of coffee, reading a book or the newspaper or whatever you're reading. Intimacy is explaining about what your day looks like today. Go through your daily schedule. Intimacy is from the morning rise till you lay your head down on the pillow and say goodnight. All the in-between stuff throughout the course of the day that you bring together at night to become one,
But
it's all a part of intimacy.
And see, when we look at intimacy, as you just said, if we really look into it, that's actually the sex itself. Now, the intercourse is the performance, but that actual sex itself starts before the intercourse.
Foreplay.
Extends long after, which means that if it's going to be that much before and that long after, then that means you don't need it all the time. But when you do it, that's the quality of it. 3 kinds of sex. You have either sardine and crackers, peanut butter and jelly, or champagne and caviar. Now you got to decide which one you want. Sardine and crackers, that's your little hit and miss that people do and stuff like that, just to say they've been, I got off. But most of us deal with peanut butter and jelly. First of all, it's accessible. The peanut butter sticks to you and the jelly is sweet. And that's something that we can have as often as possible. But every now and then, you want to reward yourself and really go the extra mile and do the champagne and caviar. Why? Because your beloved deserves it and is worth it.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I want you to talk to the people to break down as it relates to, because let me tell you, helped me. You and Dr. K helped me with understanding your blood type.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, it helped me so much, Dr. Danna, until when I was on WBOK on Friday, I had to look, it was in the back of my head. Okay, you're O positive, you're O positive, you're O positive, So even when callers were calling into the radio show and they were asking certain questions, making certain comments, I had to remember that I am O positive, which meant that Mary Jae, you're on WBOK. This is not your show. Stay in your lane. You are coming here to represent as author, because I had some people ask me afterwards, like, why didn't you answer that question when a caller? Why didn't you comment on that? Because it was not addressed to me. It was not given to me to answer. So I had to remember that I am the guest on this show. I am not the host. I am not the co-host. I am a guest and I am to present what I came to present. So that helped me a whole lot.
Yeah.
It balances things out for everyone because just the O positive, it just has enlightened me. You were saying something in the beginning just now when you first started talking about, you take over and just get it done. You do it. I wish my children can hear you say that because when I ask them to do something and I'm telling them to do it, do it, especially my youngest, Aliyah. And I'm saying, Aliyah, I need you to do X, Y, Z. And now she's attempting to go do it. Or she heard me, but she has not moved yet. And I'm looking at her, like waiting for her to get it done. And then I say, did you hear what I said? I need you to do it. And she said, yes, Mom, I heard you. I'm going to do it after this. No, I need you to do it now. And then when she goes to do it, I may go over there and begin doing it. And she'd be like, Mom, you told me to do this, but you came and did it. You wanted to do it, but you asked me. And she's like, I was going to do it. You could have just done it. But it's like, okay, you're not doing it. I want you to look. Let's get the moving. Let's get going.
But you know what I found out? I had that same issue with Kendra because I'm getting it. You tell me, okay, we have a event on the 24th. I would have had everything done within 2 days. The vendors would have been online, everything. But this is Kendra's event. And Kendra is a blood type A. And what I have to remember is that she will get it done. But it's got to be at her pace, in her time. In other words, what's the objective? The objective is to get it done. And she will get it done. Now, I'm sitting on pins and needles. Kendra, you got all the vendors together. Kendra, you got all this together and whatever. Because I'm the kind of person, just like you, I want it done right now. Let's just say ready. Yeah. But like you said, we have to realize that the blood types in itself, And the thing about it, the life is in the blood. So if you can understand the the personality of a person's blood, A, O, B, or AB, and the RH comes under A. If you can understand that, that's like 90% of your relationship right there. I mean, once Kendra and I came to the realization that we both think differently, but here's the key: we both think effectively. Now we got to realize that the effectiveness and the difference can be the same. That's the marriage right there. So now I have to learn how to just calm down and just, okay, it's gonna get done. It's gonna get done. It's gonna get done. Or if she said, well, Dana, I'm gonna need you to get some pineapples because I'm gonna need to make the juice. I'm gonna need you to get this and that and whatever. I know you're at the gym, but I'm gonna need that sometime today. Look, as soon as she said that, I'm through at the gym. I'm at the store getting her stuff. Why? Because she asked for it. It's a mission. Right. See, we're mission oriented.
Right.
Is more on the expressive end. So no, you got a good point there, Mary.
Yeah, and for many years too, and I know it has to do with my upbringing as well, and the things that I've experienced in life, because I always related it to me being 16 years old, a wife and a mother. I was 16, so in my mind, I'm like, I was already cooking and cleaning and serving and paying bills and running the house and rearranging the furniture and decorating a home, taking care of a baby. So I was doing this at 16 years old. So I have to pause for a moment and say, wait a minute, Mary Jae, okay. You grew up a little early. You were matured a lot faster. You experienced a lot of things sooner. So give them some, that's not their story. Give them some time to get to this, because the things that I was experiencing and all of what I had to give out at 16 years old. So now I expect that everybody, if you're 20, you're supposed to be there already,
Yeah.
But now explaining it with the blood type, it makes it more sense. I'm able to kind of like understand it a lot better.
Yeah, Mary, what you could do, and I would suggest it have to come from you because you're the face and the place. Maybe one day down the line, we just do a workshop on that, on understanding your blood type for people who really interested in, especially for man. I wonder.
Awesome! It's so fascinating to me.
Why does relationship falling apart? Because she operates on a different frequency than you do. Her blood type is different, and if we could get that message in and whatever, you'd be surprised. And that could be the hallmark of your next book, because I know you're going to do a series of them. I'm correct?
Oh, I am. I am.
Already know it.
My next book is I'm Lonely and I Like It. That's the title of my next book. That would be a spinoff from Intrigue. And when I say I'm lonely and I like it, people cringe at that. We get so deep into religion. And oh no, don't say you're lonely. You're not lonely. God is with you always. I get so much of that. But oh my gosh, wait until that book comes forth. So I'm looking forward to releasing it in the winter. I'm lonely and I like it. And it has to do with all of the things that I've experienced in life. Now, not saying that I want to be alone forever. I know, and it's let's lay aside the spirituality of it, because I don't want to get in deep with the church folk, about God is with you. He promised never to leave you nor forsake you. But let's just tap into the side of us that is sensual. Tap into the natural side of us. We go through some experience in life. Sometimes we are alone. Sometimes I am very lonely, but it's by choice. I choose to separate myself. I choose not to be at everybody's everything. I am very particular about my space and the presence that are around me. I am particular about what I do and how I do it and who I do it with. So there are times that I may have to pull back, even with my children. Even with my children, sometimes they want to go do something or take a trip or go to the movies or go to the water park, and I'd be like, y'all go right ahead, And then there are other times that I'm like, oh yeah, I'll come too. And they'd be like, Mom, you don't want to come. I'm lonely and I like it. Dana, listen, I went from relationship to relationship. I was married 3 times by the age of 25. I went through so much brokenness. The beginning of my marriage, because I was pregnant, because of tradition in the church, of course, our parents arranged a wedding that was toxic. It turned out to be really, really bad. I went through so much abuse during the course of that marriage. And now from that marriage, being a 13-year-old girl that was saved at 16-year-old girl that was saved at the age of 13, that loves the Lord, that understood what love was not, because God loved me first. So I knew what love was supposed to be, and I knew what it wasn't. And so, understanding that, living holy, trying to live set apart, struggling now. It's a flesh fight. It's a battle every day. Even today, living a life of abstinence and trying to just stay true. It's a flesh fight. It's a battle. But in it, I'm winning it, right? And so now my second marriage led me to nothing but romance and just a wonderful, wonderful man that just esteemed me and queened me, because I didn't want to have sex outside of marriage, and he knew that. And I remember when he was over in Japan, and he called me, and I said, listen, we can't do this. I do not want to be in a relationship and fornicating and living outside. He said, don't go anywhere. Stay where you are. Don't leave me. He left his engagement in Japan, flew down and proposed to me. He knew. He said, Mary, he said, there's going to be one day you're going to realize I hope we're doing the right thing. I hope this is really what you want. I really, truly was not asking to be married. I was trying to really find myself when he proposed to me, and he was such a wonderful man and gave me the world. There was nothing that I had to ask for or he would not give to me. And so I say that really because a lot of people would talk about looking for love in all the wrong places. I knew what love was, and I knew what it was not. And so fast forward, I married this man. We grew apart. He was years older than me. We were unequally yoked. A wonderful, wonderful man. Wonderful. But I knew it was not material things that I wanted. It was not the house, the jewelry, the furs, the diamonds. It was not any of that. I was really looking for life. I was looking for life because the life that I imagined in my mind to be was not the life that I was living, even with all the stuff, even with everything that I had, right? And so now I find myself married again, not wanting to fornicate, not wanting to have sex out of marriage. So married again, right? By the age of 25. Now, I'm marrying someone that I believe that was equally yoked. We're both serving God, loving God. We're both in the church. We're ministers of the gospel, and my marriage, in hindsight, looking back, was built on lies, deceptions, and betrayal. And it really, oh my God, it pulled the rug it felt like I was pulling all of the air out of me. I felt like I couldn't breathe. That at some point when I woke up and I wondered, how did I really end up here? How did I get here? This is not what I thought it would be. But because of tradition and all of what we hear that is supposed to be done, I understood, Mary, you know what, girl? You were getting married because you wanted to be intimate. You were getting married because you wanted to have sex, and you wanted to live in the confines of holy matrimony. In other words, real talk, you were getting married because you wanted legal sex. And that's when I realized that, I was like, wait, whoa, wait. Because that's all I was taught. And I always used to say, I'm never going to have sex with somebody I'm not married to. I'm not going to shack up. I'm not going to do this. I'm not, all did this, what I'm not going to do, right? But I got pregnant at age 16 because I wanted to have a baby. That's a whole nother book. We'll deal with that at another time.
That's encyclopedia there. Go ahead.
Yeah. And so now, understanding who I am, where I'm going, I had someone to tell me, a dear friend, shared this with me, Mary, you married where you were. You didn't marry where you were going. And now I understand the bigger picture now. So no one told me, Dana, that I can live holy outside of marriage. That was never taught. It was always, it's better to marry than to burn. It was always said that, you're out of the will of God. If you're fornicating, you shouldn't be. That's all I heard. I heard that, it's better to marry than to burn. So in my little life, as a 13-year-old girl, where I was in a small church that preached fire and brimstone, that hell, you know, you were going to die and go to hell. If your hair was red, you're going to hell. If your hair was blonde, if you wore lipstick, if you wore rouge, all of that, you know. So that's probably why y'all see me now with my hair blonde, red, black, brown, blue. Breaking those barriers, breaking all of that tradition, uprooting all of that mess that we believe that was doctrine, that was not God. Just casting away all of that stuff, pulling it up by the root, you know. That's why now I can finally say I'm lonely and I like it, because so many of us looking for a husband or a wife, you know, we're fascinated with the idea of a wedding, not the idea of really holding down your witness, not the idea of partnership and commitment, not the idea of sticking it through and love. You know, so many marriages fall apart in the name of God. And God gave me this book to write it, to help marriages, to build marriages, to show them that there's nothing wrong with the sensual side of you as well as the spiritual side of you. There's nothing wrong with you tapping in, because I put those things in you, you know. But I don't know why we have made sex such a curse word today. I don't understand. I don't know. But I do know that there are deep issues and soul ties attached to it that I knew that I did not want to continue to walk in, you know. So that's why I can say boldly, proudly, and freely that I'm lonely and I like it, because I choose to be. It's a choice. And I'm not desperate. I'm not desperately seeking. And I'm not saying that I would never be married again. I'm not saying, because I'm open to marriage. I'm open to true love, to real love. I'm open to partnership and developing and growing together in love with someone, evolving to a place where the two can walk together in agreement. It's a powerful thing. I love being married. There's nothing like it, you know. But at the same time, in your singleness, you have to understand who you are. You have to understand what is it that God has put in you to do. You have to understand your self-worth and where you're going. What is your vision? What is your purpose outside of your partner? Because that's a lot of times we lose ourselves once we unite. You know, I talk about it with the chapter Pillow Talk, and we're going to get into that next week with the powerful couple that I have coming on. We lose ourselves in that, you know. Our lives begin to spiral downward. All of the hustle and bustle of life and all the things that we have to do. And ladies, I'm talking to our ladies right now too, because we get caught up. We look this way on the outside for the public, but in the bedroom, what we got our hair wrapped up, tied up, rollers in our hair, sweatpants on, going to bed, all of that foolishness, you know. We're tired, we're depleted, we're drained because we cook, we work, we did this and we did that. Now when it comes to being intimate with our partner, we have nothing else left to give. But we gave it to our mama because she needed our attention that day. There were some things she needed to get done. We gave it to our boss on the job because we worked our behind off for those 40 hours to get that paycheck. You know, we gave it to our children because they needed to go here to soccer practice, to dance, to gymnastics or whatever. Mm-hmm. We do all of this stuff. And then we're cooking, we're cleaning, we're doing all of that. And then when we get home and we lay our bed on that pillow and we filled with frustration, we filled with disappointment, we filled up with the heaviness of the world, and we have nothing left to give to our partner. And I'm talking about that from a female perspective as well as a male perspective. That's why I can say I'm lonely and I like it. I enjoy my intimacy with God. I enjoy where I am in him. I enjoy the things that he has given me to do, the things that he has put at my hand. Dana, I see some married couples, unlike you and Dr. K, that heaven forbid if their wife have purpose and they're saying that God wants them to do this, and it's like, you better not go do that. I didn't tell you. I didn't give you the authority to do that. I didn't give you the permission to go do that, to walk in your purpose. No, you are my wife. You are my husband. You got to stay here. You know, and I deal with women that have experienced that have gone through that. Permission. No, it's consultation. It's two people coming together to consult one another, to come to a mutual understanding and agreement. Now, I know everything has its timing and its season, just like the season that I am in now. And I love it. There's nothing more liberating, nothing more powerful than walking in your purpose and understanding who you are and your self-worth. So guess what? Not ashamed of it at all, baby. I am lonely.
I know. Don't be ashamed. I mean,
and I like it.
That's who.
And I don't have a problem with you having a issue with the word lonely. That's on you. I know what I've been through. I know where I am, and I am in the best place of my life than I've ever been before. So I am so happy to have you sharing with me. We can go into deep discussions, topic to topic, chapter by chapter. I already know what you and Dr. K. I already know the powerful blend of balance that the two of you have and the agreement that you two walk in. And
the next time I'm
excited about it.
Be right here with me. Now, that's a guarantee. Even if I got to go put somebody else everywhere, you will be right here with me.
Yeah, it's awesome. You know, you all have such a powerful ministry, a powerful marriage, and just the balance and the blend of it all. You know, I had you all on my show as Mr. and Mrs. Right as we talked about that. Remember coming on my show to discuss that and the 5 love languages. So I understand it, and there's a balance to it all. And listen, this book, pardon me, everybody, let me share it with you all. I have people ask me, well, one person said, is it going to help? You know, what about the ladies that don't want to have sex with their husbands? You know, I had a man ask me that. It's in there. I talk about it. You know, I talk about mutual submission. This book is to reach everybody. Romance, relationship, and religion. It deals with the total man, from singleness to married couples to entrepreneurship and business owners. It deals with everything. That's why, and I had someone said when I was telling them the chapters, they were like, wait a minute, Mary Jae, you went from business to sex? And I said, listen, are you all business all day? Are you mind, body, and spirit? How do you separate yourself? How do you take yourself out of your body when you want to have sex, and then you have sex, and then you go over here? No, you're all three in one. So you're dealing with mind, body, and soul. You guys, we can't separate it. We have to know where the balance is. And I think that's why so many marriages are struggling because of it. You know, I know my marriage struggled because of it. That's why I can write about it. That's why I can talk about it. And there's women that I empower that are dealing with the same thing. So Dana, I do talk about in Know Your Size. I talk about the intimacy with your partner, having conversation during sex, understanding that, does that hurt? Is that too much? How does that feel? That's so important because listen, even with women, I have discussions with women that may say, you know, I don't feel comfortable. This hurt, you know, he's not respecting my feelings. A lot of times I go to bed tired and I don't want to have sex because I'm not enjoying the sex the way that I used to enjoy it. It's not the same feeling. Our bodies change, you know, and we have to understand that. We have to be sensitive to our partner. And I had one lady that actually was dealing with fibroids. She had fibroids and she didn't know. And she didn't understand why having sex with her husband was so painful. And he was not really sensitive to her pain. He didn't understand it, you know. I think he thought he was the man putting it down. You know what I'm saying? You know, you gotta be sensitive. And just because a woman hurt, that doesn't mean you got it like that. That doesn't make you powerful and strong because she's in pain and she can't take it. Are you kidding me? That makes you think that you're so big that she can't take it. See, I got to go in a little deep right here because we have all sorts of issues that we deal with. Some of us feel insecure. Some ladies, we feel like we're overweight. Some of us may be ashamed. Our bodies may not be what it once was when we first got married. That's why we're covering up at night. That's why we're wearing the sweatpants and the t-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we're doing that. We're not happy in our appearance all the time. And so that's another form of it. So we have to understand it all the way through. And listen, I leave no stone unturned from market your product, make the investment, manage your time, the chase, know your size, how big is too big, needs, wants, and desires, pillow talk, sex toys, how much do you tolerate, and what to celebrate. It's all in the chapter. And, God gave me this book to reach the masses, whether you are in a relationship or have been, whether you're gay or straight, it'll reach you right where you are. I promise you it will. Whether you're Christian or non-Christian, it will meet you right where you are. Whether you're in corporate America or on the street corner, it will reach you right where you are. That's why it's written in such simplicity, and all of the metaphors throughout the book, all of the components. It's a building component, starting with one, because I believe if we get us together first, forget about being married, ladies, single ladies, I love being married. I love being single. But one thing that we have to understand is do the inner work first. Do the inner work first. Do the inner work first. It is important that we understand how we're built, what we're made of, our needs, wants, and desire, and what works and what fits best for us. So, Dr. Danna, thank you for coming on.
Always a pleasure. Like I said, you know how to find me, but next time I'll make sure that I handcuff Kendra.
It's good. It's all good. I am just elated to have you all. Let the people know again where to find you guys this Saturday to your health and wellness health fair coming up this Saturday. Give them the address again and the time and location.
1600 Westwood Drive in Marrero. 1600 Westwood Drive in Marrero. That's Mount Calvary International Family Church. And the host pastor is Apostle Terry Gullidge. And the
yes, wonderful.
Everybody should just come on out and let's enjoy ourselves from 12 noon to 5 p.m.
I understand you guys are going to have food, fun, rock climbing walls, so much more. Dr. K is going to have all of her products there. You guys have to go and visit her table. The Dr. Kendra Lynn Health Nut System. I use her juice. I came up with the watermelon. I said, you better call it Water Mary. I said the watermelon. Listen.
That old blood type.
Yes. It is delicious. It is delicious. And the strawberry, the pineapple, all of the flavors are so good. And I just enjoy drinking it because I supplement it because I don't drink sodas. I drink tea. And I drink a little mocha every now and then. I'm not a coffee drinker, everyday coffee drinker. And because I don't drink sodas, I love drinking the organic juices. And like I said, when I tell you vitality, release those toxins out of your body, it helps with mental clarity, energy. I love it. I love it. Dr. K, my girl, you're doing an amazing job. And she has products, skincare products, hair products, deodorants, all of those things, capsules, name it.
Pain spray, all that.
Woo, you name it, she has it. So listen, guys, I know it's going to be fantastic.
And don't forget the man cave. So
talk about it. Tell them a little bit about it.
As we working on something, but Kendra just about got it perfected. So, in other words, that when that flag is going half mast, so it can't get up at all, instead of going for the Viagra, Cialis, and that kind of stuff, get the man cave, all natural, straight out the ground. Because if it's from the ground, you can dig it up, and she will get it up for you. Thank you.
That's right. So it helps with to stimulate the erection of man.
Erectile. It helps with the erectile dysfunction.
Okay, awesome, awesome, awesome. So listen, all natural, all organic, Dr.
Oh,
Kendra Lynn, herbalist, nutritionist, so much more, a power team. I love you guys. I really do. Thank you so much for coming on. You guys, you can get a copy of my book coming this July 23rd on Amazon.com. You can order your copy, and I look forward to sharing with you all, celebrating my birthday with you all. And I'll let you all know forthcoming the book tour where we would be. Have to get everything finalized with dates and time, but I'm looking forward to it. Thank you, Dr. Dana. Did you have a happy Merry Monday?
oh, wow. The best already. And guess what? The best is yet to come. Take care, my dear. Be blessed.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.